Hey everybody, it's Matt here. Today we're going to talk about something we've all been through but probably didn't like all that much, and that's sales training. Now, when we all start a job, no matter what kind of job it is, they want to make sure that we know how to do the job effectively. And in sales, it's no different. So they send us to sales training for a week, 2 weeks, maybe even longer to make sure that we know how to do the job. And they always tell us the same thing. We need to know how to overcome objections, to build rapport. They'll probably have us role play a whole bunch. And when we finally get out, they basically tell us that we need to get in front of as many people as possible. So that means knocking on doors, pounding the phone, or going to endless networking events. But we quickly find out that it just doesn't work. I mean, the results that we thought we were going to have, it's just really hard. We never hit our goals in the beginning, and the morale just takes a massive nosedive. Now, I always thought it was my fault. I thought, man, I'm not hitting my goals. I'm not doing what I need to do. It must be my fault. And obviously that was reinforced from my managers because they were telling me, look, Matt, you're not doing what you need to be doing. You're not hitting your goals. And it would be really easy to blame the whole system, except there's always that one or two people that are killing it. So you can't kind of blame the system if somebody else is actually doing it well. Well, in this case, you can blame the system. The problem isn't necessarily the results you're having is because of you. The problem is what you've been taught. Now, we talked about the fact that you go to sales training, they teach you how to overcome objections and to build rapport and to role play. And then obviously when you get out, you're just hitting as many people as you possibly can. And the problem with that is it's the exact opposite of how everybody in the world operates. You see, when you try to overcome objections, basically what you're doing is you're trying to take somebody who has a well-founded and concretely held belief that they don't want your product, and you're trying to convince them otherwise. It would be like trying to convince a Democrat to vote Republican. It would be trying to have somebody who is an alcoholic to try to stop drinking. It's just not going to happen that easily. And people are going to fight you to the death. I mean, they're just not going to let you win. People are absolutely steadfast. They do not want to have their worldview challenged. But when somebody tells you no, when somebody's giving an objection, I was always taught, well, they just don't understand the product well enough. They really need you to guide them through and show them why they need it. But if you look at us individually, when somebody else comes up to us and we tell them no, can you really look yourself in the eye and to tell them or tell yourself that you just really want them to guide you through and show you why you need the product? Well, no, you don't. You don't want the product. No means no. And the reason that people give you a no, it's not because of the product, it's not because of the price, it's because they do not trust you. And the sales training methodology that we talked about does not address that. The problem is when people are giving you no and they don't trust you, it's because you are reminding them, and me too, of all the other people that they've met who are salespeople who have proven themselves untrustworthy. And all we're doing is mimicking the things that they did. So we're telegraphing them saying, please treat us exactly like every other salesperson that you've ever met. Now, if you want to break through and actually gain more clients, what you don't do is what everybody else is doing. It sounds pretty simple and very counterintuitive, but it really is that simple. And it's the number one way that you can get people to want to buy from you. The thing you have to do is you have to break that pattern. And I never knew this in sales. I never knew it. So I always had to just work twice as hard as everybody and just try to gut my way through to barely meet my goals if I met my goals. But when I met the guys in the community in that underground pickup artist group, they taught me something that's very different, is that people respond to attraction. There's specific things that people can do that make you innately want to buy from them. It could be anything from an attachment to a celebrity. It could be something to validate your ego. It could be adopting a worldview that's the absolute contrary to what you hate. There's a million things you can do. But it's a concept of what we call spiking attraction. And if you want to massively increase the number of clients that you can have, the number one way not to do that is to follow the advice you've gotten from every sales trainer you've ever had before. Now, I am not a sales trainer because I'm not going to teach you how to sell. What I will do is I'm going to teach you how people want to buy. You can kind of jump inside their head and understand exactly what's going on and what makes them innately be triggered to want to buy from you. If you look at companies like Apple, for the longest time, every single time a new product came out, they had a line of people out the door, literally. They would sleep overnight on a sidewalk. I call them voluntary vagrants because they have to get the newest product. There's women's clothing companies that as soon as they come out with a new purse or a new shoe or something like that, they're going to get it. The same thing when it comes to a lot of electronics, or it could be really any consumer goods. You look at basketball shoes, and the minute LeBron James comes out with a new shoe, immediately people are clamoring to buy from it. You can go on iTunes and see certain artists that they can sell millions of downloads pre-sale. In other words, they're paying for a product that they're not even getting yet. And the lines are out the door. And the reason they can do this isn't because they're doing the same things that your sales trainer tells you to do. They're not. None of them are. Because they're taking advantage of these concepts of attraction that make people innately want to buy from them. So if you want to change the results you have and change the trajectory of your career, your personal life, and really everything you have in your life, you need to ditch everything that you've ever learned about sales training and start understanding how to spike attraction. And when you do, I'm telling you, you're going to realize what an amazing cheat code it is. Because literally the entire design of how people think and what makes them want to buy will be laid bare right in front of you. And it won't even be difficult anymore. You're not going to be trying to get new clients. You're going to try to be vetting your new prospects. And for me, it got to a point where I went from being somebody who had to gut my way through and work overtime and blue collar my way just to hopefully barely meet my goals, to a point where every single person I was talking to, the goal wasn't to sell them. The goal was to replace my least valuable client. And unless that new person was better than my least valuable client, I didn't want them. There's no point to having them. And that's what spiking attraction can do for you. So I look forward to seeing you at my next lesson. Give me some feedback. I'd love to hear back from you, and we'll talk soon.